Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another episode of Ridiculous Loadout. This is a series I started way back when in the Battlefield 3 days, basically whoring myself out for cheap views, running a suggested loadout from one of the comments made by you guys. And hopefully not making too much of an ass of myself in the process. So, the series is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be taken too seriously, to be too tactical. I'm just having a bit of fun throwing around the kit suggested by one of you guys and maybe finding a weird new combination that I didn't think of before. Most of the time it works. Other times it makes me rage horribly and, quit every match that I've been on. So, this time, a user by the name of Random War 12 suggested an old school BF3 support loadout, which consists of the M249 saw, a red dot sight, flash hider, bipod, M9 as the sidearm, and the most standard bayonet for the knife. Now, a couple of things in this loadout took me a few days to unlock, which I wasn't too happy about because these things weren't the standard unlock me type stuff, through progression of the kills. The flash hider, for example, for the M249 only comes in a battle pack, and unfortunately battle packs are really annoying system because they're pretty much random. You never know what you're gonna get, so it's really hard to get the actual stuff unlocked that you need. But let's get back to the loadout. Now, as you probably know, the only way to unlock the M249 for Battlefield 4 for the multiplayer is to finish the campaign, Battlefield 4 single player campaign. And there are three choices you can make at the end of the campaign, and one of them results in unlocking the M249 saw for the multiplayer. As such, you can imagine there must be something a bit extra special about this weapon, and there kind of is, which I'll get into in a second. Now, the other thing is I decided to go all out on this old school loadout idea and edit some favorites from Battlefield 3, which are the claymores, the standard big ammo box, and the regular grenades. None of that flashbang or impact grenade bullshit, which, by the way, is quickly becoming my favorite grenade in all the game, the impact grenade. Very useful, that one. And you can carry 3 of them, I think, unlike the regular grenades, which you can carry just 1, I believe. Now, as far as the sidearm goes, it should be mentioned real quick anyway. Although I didn't really get a chance to use it, it is the standard M9 Beretta 9mm pistol with a 15 bullet clip plus 1 in the chamber. Its max damage is 27 at 8 meters, which drops off to 12.1 at 55 meters. It's got a healthy 400 RPM rate of fire, provided you can click that fast, of course, and a 380 meters a second muzzle velocity. But having said all this, I'll tell you right now, having a sidearm is pretty redundant with this kit, as the M249 saw comes standard with a 200 round box of happiness, which is, by the way, 100 more than it had in Battlefield 3 without the extended mag perk. So you can see right away that a couple of things actually. First, you can see that this is a special unlock in Battlefield 4, and therefore it's a little bit better than the other standard vanilla guns. And secondly, if you're reaching for your sidearm after going through your 200 round box, you know, you're pretty much good as dead anyway, so just don't do it. Now, let's talk numbers here. Actually, no, let me backpedal here a second. First of all, my overall impressions of the M249. You know, before I actually found some technical specs for it, the first thought that I had when having just unlocked it in multiplayer was how accurate it was. You know, even with on full auto, aiming down sight, there was hardly any kick to the gun. And secondly, the rate of fire. You know, the rate of fire on this thing is just something amazing, which let me get into the technical specs of it so you can see for yourself. Now, the stats of the M249 in Battlefield 4 are pretty much identical to the stats it had in Battlefield 3, with a couple of very important buffs that make it stand out above the other light machine guns in Battlefield 4. Its max damage is 25 at 8 meters, which drops off to 18 at 65 meters, which by the way is just 0.4 damage less than it was in Battlefield 3. Its muzzle velocity remains the same, 620 meters a second, and its rate of fire remains the same at 800 RPM. What's interesting is that this rate of fire was fastest then among all light machine guns, and it's still the fastest now, except now the MG4 also shares the title with the M249 as having the best RPM. But now it comes standard with a 200 round box versus the 100 we had in Battlefield 3. So reloading is pretty much redundant now, which, you know, this being a belt-fed machine gun, it's going to set you back a full 6.2 seconds no matter what. So you really have to time the reloads right, and you better make sure there's no one around to bother you for the next 6 seconds, as you will need to pitch a tent and have some alone time. Now, besides these small tidbits, they also buffed a very tiny bit the vertical recoil and the right recoil of the M249 since Battlefield 3. And get this, they gave it a 1.0 first shot multiplier, where it was 2.2 in Battlefield 3. So what this basically means is that in Battlefield 3, the M249 had a kick on the first shot that was 2.2 times the usual kick of every consecutive shot, which basically threw it off the target right then and there. But because the first shot multiplier is now only 1, you can see that your fire is going to be a lot better aimed, and burst firing isn't going to give you a severe penalty on the first shot of every burst. So what you have here is an incredibly accurate, fast-firing LMG with a box of rounds that just doesn't seem to end. And by the way, when I say accurate, I mean while aiming down sight. Firing from the hip, you'll just get laughed at and killed very quickly. The spread is just terrible, and there's no accuracy at all unless you aim down sight. And by the way, speaking of sights, we have the red dot sight this time, and we also have the flash hider and the bipod as attachments. Now, the flash hider unfortunately only comes in a battle pack, as I said before, which is just super inconvenient because battle packs are pretty random and you can't really tell what you're gonna get. Battle packs are like a box of chocolates. So pretty much I ran through 2 days of gameplay with this gun just to unlock some battle packs, and as far as I can tell, battle packs only tend to unlock items that are not native to that gun. Russian attachments for the M416, for example, and so on. But let's get back to the flash hider. The flash hider doesn't really do a whole lot besides hide the muzzle flash when firing the weapon. It doesn't slow down the bullet or keep you off the minimap like the suppressor does, so that's sort of useful because the bullet just is still as fast as the original gun. Now, the bipod does a lot of things, and obviously it has to be deployed to do them. It decreases the hip fire and aiming down sight spread by a lot. And in fact, I won't go into the list, but it's well over 90% in each case. It also decreases the recoil up by 90% and the horizontal recoil by 75%. So it also decreases the spread increase per shot by 90% and decreases the first shot multiplier by 85%. So you can see by the numbers that it's actually a very, very useful attachment, provided you can find a place to set it down. So overall, I'd say this is one of the best guns in the game so far. I mean, I had a ton of fun throwing it around. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.